Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our next case study presentation on the topic, Preparing for Global Effective Tax, What Every Council Needs to Know. And for this, I would like to call upon stage our presenting sponsor, Ms. Monica Romelina Sijabat, founder and managing partner at MRS Business Professional. Let's have a huge round of applause, everyone, for Ms. Monica Romelina Sijabat here with us.
Good morning to all the awardee and also for our VIP guests and also for our colleagues in the committee. Thank you so much for the support. And I think that I can see that people still want to take a look at the coffee tea and tea time. Do you need a break for 5 minutes? Okay. Because sometimes they will ask me outside about this one, about tax, and also they invite me. So yeah, it's okay. After that, they take a tea or coffee that they can enjoy in the table, so that I don't need to repeat about my taxation. Okay. So this is a very important issue for our situation right now in the global area. If you have a experience, or also that you have a client and very suffering with the tax issue, tax matter, is about the tax treaty, is about transfer pricing, also about bilateral tax treaty. This is the right time for you to go and engage with the global tax issue. And if you're familiar with the OECD, United Nations, that must be concerned and focused the detail with what happened right now in the world. And what about the global tax effective, and also that which one that good and effective to the taxpayer or multinational company. This issue for the multinational company. Why for multinational company needed very detail from you as the counsel. Not even that you as tax attorney, not even that you are consulting firm, and also for the in-house, and also for the lawyer maybe. Some people that need to understand why OECD make the new regulation for the global minimum tax. Okay? This is not minimum, but this is for effective. Why the issue is very, very important? Because it's all about that every country competition to reduce their tax rate. Is it good for every country to compete with the tax rate? Is it fair for you if your client as a multinational company that must pay tax higher in developing country rather than in the developed country? Is there the founder here as the business owner? Is there someone that is the founder or maybe business owner? Okay. This is a short. This is a 15 minutes only, right? You can go deep dive for the Pillar 2 OECD and what happened to the world right now for the global tax effective in the world. So I ask you, Mr. Abhishek, as the owner, is it fair for you to pay tax higher in the developing country rather in the developed country? Is it fair? No. And also as an expert and also for the top level position in your company as the multinational company, are you okay to pay tax higher in the developing country rather in the developed country? Are you okay? Of course not. We talk the truth. In tax authority, in tax lawyer, we must tell the truth to the government, right? Our presentation is easy. You can go to the AI. But why we must talk about the council must to know. You must to know. That no needs to know. Must to know. It's different needs to know and must to know. Look at for our client. Look at for the every country competition for the tax rate issue. When they have that lower tax rate in other country, is it good idea to make the top-up tax policy in the source entity company? Is it fair? No, of course no. In my speaker session, another country, also they have the same answer. But why OECD must issue this regulation for the global minimum tax policy, or we call it the global tax effective policy? Why? We know about the tax haven country, right? Is it anyone that something new that the first time that hear about the tax haven country? No? Okay, all of you must be familiar with this, right? Is it anyone from the Big Four here that you have a multinational client also, right? Is it okay? Is it fair for your client to pay that higher in the other country? Or is it fair to two pillar for our client as the multinational company to pay higher, and also the headquarter must top up the tax? No, I believe it's no. That's why that US still postpone and discuss this situation with OECD. And how about United Nations negotiation with this? How they deal with this? Because that is very important for the United Nations to talk about that for the developing country, right? Like Asia country, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, they feel suffering if they must compete with the tax haven country. So for the tax council, also that tax lawyer especially, tax attorney especially, you must consider about it. If you put your client in the tax haven country, it's too easy for government to detect you. You are not expert for me. I'm so sorry to say that. You must know how to do tax planning for your client. Why we must tell the truth? If you put your client in tax haven country, and then one day the government, the tax authority, goes your client, continue to the Tax Crime Act, they will feel suffering. And then you can pay the sanction criminal about this, right? So that's why that we must remind, and you as a tax counsel and all of the legal counsel here must know about this situation. Don't make your client feel suffering about this situation. Why? It's a big money. When Google fell by some Big Four, they must pay very high. They got bleeding. And when our client success with it, they compare with us. Why am I a success with that? Because the impact at the end of the law, we know who is the wrong one. We know which one that the good regulation in every country. If we call that transfer pricing case, if we call that a tax treaty case, or a bilateral, something like that, cross-border transaction, right? If you're familiar with the dividend interest, right? What if another country have the lower rate for the dividend and interest? Is it fair for you to top up tax rate for the headquarter for the minimum 15 become 15% if another country that have the regulation that 9% only? How do you think about this? That's why that US still postponed about this one, right? The two-pillar OECD. Okay, this is a discussion for us. How good and must to know that every council about this global tax effective policy. If we call about tax minimum, it means that we know that every country have a competition with that rate. Is it good for you that have a good service from every country if you're doing the good business there? Of course. People like me, we travel around to the world, we know we not consume any, not much in every country. So that's why that we have a tax treaty to make it fair, to avoid double taxation, correct? Yes. So why the global tax effective policy must make and must start for this year and 2024 by OECD. And we know that India, US, they still postpone, and India still wait. And US still discuss with OECD. Why? Because if you have a multinational company, they will complain about this situation. We have already have a tax treaty. We have already have a bilateral treaty. We have already have a cross-border transaction. Every country that have bilateral regulation. Is it correct? So this slide is you can go deep dive and what you must to know. Okay. This is what you must to know about that what the impact for the global tax effective policy. We have a 7. Preparing for the global tax effectiveness is important for your client, right? As the multinational company. And about global tax reform, OECD Pillar 2 framework. Why we focus with the Pillar 2? Because the Pillar 2 must running from 2024 and 2025, right? So over 140 countries already agree with it. But US still discuss with OECD, right? And also there is like Japan, Spain, UK, yeah, Europe, they already signed with the 2 pillars. And then that we must go to the global anti-base erosion rules, right? This is about that. Profit shifting is about that transfer pricing case. And also global implementation status, implication for Counsel, and then the strategic and legal risk advisory. Remember, the key point of your client is point 7, strategic and legal risk advisory. Remember about the Google case, they have the risk and they stop. The lawyer to handle the case because why? They know the lawyer failed. All right? Why they stop it? Because the company must pay a very big amount to the country based on that case situation. Right? And then, okay. This one is overview, OECD and G20, important for the multinational enterprise. And then that we already talked about that, how important OECD Pillar 2 framework. The important thing is for the fairness to all of the developing country, that they must compete with the tax haven country. And also that they must compete with the lower tax country. Why is it important for them? Is it related with the investment? Is it related about that interest rate? Is it related about that regulation? No. If we have a perspective from the business owner, if we have a perspective from the investor, it's so different. When they have the mindset as the business owner, we know we must comply to the law in every country. But also, we must ask it, is it fair for us? Is it fair for our business? All of business owner that will say that, oh my God, Monica, we are very tired every day. We must work hard to make sure our business is running well. We must compete very hard with our competitor. It's so unfair for us to pay this is higher rate in the developing country, and we didn't consume as much as they. Right? That's why that we talk about that OECD Pillar 2 framework. What's different with the OECD Pillar 1? The Pillar 1 is focused to the country that can tax for which the biggest sellers in the source income. Right? This is not source income. This is for beneficial owner. But for the pillar 2, you can top up 10% to the headquarter as the source country. That's a source of income. It's a for headquarter. And then that OECD Pillar 2 framework, this is a global minimum tax rate of 50%. We talk about that 50% is a must. It's a cover tax base, and then we comply also with the global erosion. How about the base erosion profit shifting, Monica? Is it good for the multinational company to do that? To global shifting profit? Hey, if you're expert with this, you know that how good that explaining that you set up to your client. Don't do that. Don't expect it is profit shifting. It's part of the criminal too. So it's not need for the OECD to make this one a regulation for sure, in my perspective. Why? Because we are expert and we know how to handle in the Supreme Court and the tax court. As expert in over 15 years, I know that sometimes in some country, the regulation that something went wrong, right? Why? It's not based on the business update. It's not that based on business situation right now, especially for the digital business, right? So when we talk, when we struggle and we are fight so hard in the tax court and then continue to the Supreme Court, they listen to us, and then finally that the government must change the regulation. Why? When the regulation that mistake by the unknown situation previous year, or also for the administration, so the government must change with the new one. Is it good? Sounds good? Of course. The government must change with the new regulation that meet with the business situation. Indonesia have a big trouble with the tax core system. We call it core tax. What's the meaning of this? This is the administration only, but they against the law. When the system that against the law, we must talk to the top level government. Hey, sir, we are so sorry. We must tell you the truth. This system is against the law. Your vendor as your partner also that against the law. I understand why your vendor make a mistake, because they never success in the Supreme Court or the tax court. And finally they change. And finally that President Indonesia replaced with the new Director of General of Taxation, because that against the law. Not even in every country, they must change the law with the new regulation that meet with the situation. So, is it fair for you to get the stipulation or decision letter from the government based on the misregulation? Of course not. But the process of the council, you must go to the next step, with integrity. Promise me with integrity, no corruption, please. If you have a good, I can see your smile. If you have good reputation, government will listen to you. But if you do the corruption, please trust me, they never listen to you. Right? This is a very difficult situation right now to every multinational company. When they know that the counsel or the lawyer is do the bad thing, the corruption, bribery, something like that. But if you have integrity, they will listen to you. Sir, so sorry. We must remind you, you are against the law, the system against the law. Which one, Monica? Which one? Show us. This one, sir. This one, ma'am. So sorry. You must change this one. Right? Okay. So be careful with this. Be careful about the situation. Especially that LexTalk World, they have also integrity competition. Is it right? Is it one of the awardee here that must pay to get the award tomorrow? No, right? they free. Is it correct? Is it correct, right? So it's a free competition. But after you get the score, the highest score, they will invite you, hey, you are the champion. We invite you, give you privilege, become the presenting sponsor. This one, the offer from you first, because you are the champion. And what if I reject your offer? We will go to the next champion, the second one. That's why that I come here to the LexTalk World. They find me 5 times by email in 8 months. It's so hard for them to meet me in this competition, right? I said that, how LexTalk will find me? After this situation, the LexTalk World, I believe, all of media come to me right now, and I said, hey, I don't know how they find me, but this competition is good for the people, especially for the legal that have integrity, right? This is the very, very good issue for the OECD issue too. How they listen to you, how the government listen to you. This is about professionalism, integrity, and how you talk to them politely, okay? It's not easy, right? When we move in Thailand, we know that, how to remind the government if they make a mistake in the regulation. How? Is it easy or not? Is it easy to talk to the top level government? No, it's never easy. How to convince them? It's not easy. So then your reputation is good when you need to talk to make a change for the good in every country, for the competition. Remind the country, no need to compete with the tax rate, but please, we are, as the taxpayer, we will comply with every country regulation, and also that we are very appreciated for the regulation that meet with our business. Yes? Is it good? Sounds good right now? Because that when I meet with all of the ambassadors in every country, they said that, Monica, we are very convenient to talk with you. We are very convenient when you present about the taxation session. Why? I said that, why, sir? Why you feel convenient with me? Yeah, it's fair. It's fair for every country. We don't need to compete with the tax haven country right now anymore. So this one, this OECD, we must take deep dive about the situation. Is it fair for our client or not? And that one, for the global anti-based erosion, that rules that we call that the GLOBE, ensure minimum tax in its jurisdiction, top-up tax mechanism, that 15%. So if your jurisdiction is like this in India, that headquartered in America, so that make sure the top-up, the tax minimum is 15%. If the rate here is lower, that you must top up become, not at 15%, but become minimum 50%, okay? And then that effective tax rate calculation, right? And this one is a global implementation. Who is the country that, which country that already adopt this one? Europe, UK, Canada, Japan. This is the key economic first. And then the US and OECD continuing discussion in April 2025. India also, that's still postponed, right? And implementation timeline most effective in 2024 and 2025. And implication for Council, yes. Which Council that you have handled the tax issue? Anyone here? No, be careful. Tax have a very high risk, right? Tax is very high risk. The risk, money, reputation, and also sleepless, right? And then make sure that, ensure that global tax compliance, make sure that your client that know about the compliance in every country regulation, right? And review entity structure and transfer pricing. It's again and again, you must know about the transfer pricing issue. That when you talk about transfer pricing, it's a client that will gut bleeding, or maybe that they will continue to the tax crime act, right? So please be careful about this issue, and then monitor your jurisdictional effective tax rate. Okay, this is for the fair in every country. Yeah, for the effective tax rate. We don't call it minimum, but we call it effective tax rate. And then the strategic, of course, interpretation, evolving legislation, advice on tax treaty impacts, manage regulatory risk and litigation, assess eligibility and benefit of concessional tax regime. So the problem in developing countries compared to the developed countries, we know they have a mindset. The way of the thinking of the America, the way of the thinking of the Asian country, the way of the thinking of the Europe country is so different. Yes, because when I'm connected with all the people around the world, we will tell the truth. In America, we will tell the truth, hey, this is not right. Hey, this is correct. Hey, this is not meet with my condition. Okay? Is it good? So they will ask me, do you have any evidence to support this one? Yes, of course. Right? As long as you have evidence, they will accept your condition. That's America. That's why I love to come back and again in Washington, D.C. Right? And how about that Asian country? How about that Europe country? Right? It's so different. The character is different there. Right? Monica, how you must pay there? How you must pay the highest rate in Asian country? We love to pay zero tax. I said that, hey, in your dream. No country have zero tax policy. Oh, Monica, can you do that for me? No. You talk about tax haven country. But when you come to us, we will set up your tax planning. Meet with your condition. Don't come to us with the zero rate. But please submit your evidence. Please submit your situation. And we go deep dive with your data. At transparency, we have good connection. And also, we will set up very good meet with your condition. So all of the counsel here, of the lawyer, I believe that you have excited for tomorrow award. I believe you are success also in your journey, in your path. Right? In any competition, please focus with your client. Don't make a bad situation in your competitor. Why? Because if we focus with our client, we have no time to make a bad planning to our competitor. Please keep focus. Why? Yes, that one. That our client will watch us. That government will watch us. Yeah? Trust me, with my experience, they will watch us here. Who is the award tomorrow? Is it by integrity or is it by something that connection? Is it something like that? They will talk about you. Yes? Some of you here, familiar face, you look me in media. I said to the committee, hey, committee, thank you so much. You find me and find here. And right now that all media come to me, and I must selected them very, very detailed. Is it by integrity? Is it competition award by achievement or success story? Or is it by what? Right? So keep your integrity also. Keep your knowledge, deep dive, transparency with your client data, and also remember education. Keep learning, right? When we learning, humble, and also have a good network, collaboration with another legal that expert in it, it will be good for us to do work, okay? It is the most important thing right now about that global tax effective. Any questions? I believe that you must be hard thinking inside right now. I can see in your face. Yeah, I'm teaching as a tax lecture in University of Indonesia. Yeah, they really want to know about that, how to make sure that our client that honest with us, how about our client transparent with us, how about our client that respect us, how to become like you, Monica. You never compete, but the client come to you. How to be like you, Monica. And this is the real of me. Why the government didn't listen to me? Why? Because they know that we never compete to get the client, but the client come to us based on my reputation. We never know who is our competitor. But when when our team sabotaged by the Big Four, we know, oh, for them, we are the competitor. But me have no competition with anyone, because why? Since my very first time I'm graduate and I go to the test and go get the top score in Indonesia, they ask me, they offer me, Monica, we offer you to become the tax instructor. I never submit my application. That's the truth about me. Are you surprised about it? Me surprised too. And also, on our University of Indonesia, they offer me, hey, we need you to become a tax lecturer first. Right. And then they invite me, hey, we need you to become this one first. And we need you to become this one. They invite me. And when our client, the multinational company, they come to me, they ask me, hey, we need you to become our tax attorney. Please support us. Please keep continue support us. That's the real of me. Yes, of course, go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Monica, for it. I'm an intellectual property lawyer, so I don't know much about tax.
Thanks, okay.
All right, so I have a tax team which looks after tax. I wanted to know, because as intellectual property lawyers and cyber lawyers, we also look at tax haven countries, as you rightly pointed out. We look at Cayman Islands as one of the most notorious
Bahama.
organizations. Most of the organizations that we work with, some of the organizations, not most of the organizations, do have their tax havens in Cayman Islands. It's very difficult to trace back to it. So how do you practically, have you had experience as a lawyer, as a tax lawyer, where the company that you're representing is based in Cayman Island? How do you make it accountable? I'm playing a devil's advocate here, because do you represent companies which are based either in one of these tax havens, or do you not represent them as in terms of being transparent with regard to all the taxation aspect to it?
The first time that you must know who is the advisory that asked them to put your client in the tax haven country.
Now, I'm putting it across to you. Have you encountered clients who have had,
Never. We never put our client in tax haven country. Never. We know very early when we ask our client go to the special vehicle, something in the tax haven country, we know the government will detect it early. It's part of the Tax Crime Act. It's part for the tax evasion. That's a difference between evasion and avoidance. Avoidance still comply to the law, but evasions, there's a big sanction for the Tax Crime Act. That's why that Google failed at that one case. And that's why after you give that advisory to put your client to the tax haven country, the impact in the future, not right now. Your client will be, we excited to get tax haven country. But the impact in the future, your reputation, finish. For sure. Agree with us? Take care. Because your expectation success, it will make your client happy when they know that you have a good strategy in tax planning and you let them know that you give them compliance, not evasion, right? Tax avoidance, legal, also that is comply to the every country regulation. But tax evasion is a tax crime act, potentially. Be careful, watch out with this, and please go to the expert to discuss about this situation, because the big amount in the future is very big and it goes bleeding and you will lose your reputation. Okay? Is there any question here? Okay, go ahead. Committee, please, once.
Hello, Monica. How can developing countries ensure fair benefits under global effective tax frameworks without losing the investors' confidence?
Without what?
Without losing the investor confidence.
Without lose?
Without
Investment.
losing investors' confidence.
Investment?
Investor.
Oh, without lose investor. Another one is investor, that you must to know what the vision and mission for your investor, right? When they want to set up the business in one country, you must make sure what's the goal, what's the profit oriented, and how about they planning about the tax. Make sure that is it okay for them to comply with the every country tax rate and regulation. And if they ask you about the tax haven country, you must talk to them very, very politely about this situation and the impact after this, the impact the future about the tax haven country situation. And when I talk in the government ambassador, in every top level government, I talk like this to them. And they listened. They're very convenient. Why? It's fair for every country when we are as a lawyer, we are as a counsel, to remind the client, hey, please set up a good planning, tax planning, and please avoid the tax haven country, because why? It's easy for all the government in the world to detect what will next happen to your client. So the investor make the priority first. Are you okay to pay the tax in the country? How about your goals? How about your expectation? Tax planning in the future? How is it going? How well that you expect right now? Some of the investors that as the multinational company, they're engaged with the Big Four. So please remind them that the Big Four is an audit firm, it's not a tax expert. Why you must telling the truth? Because the license is by individually, right? Not by brand, right? So the individually that judge will take a look, who is this person? Who is this one? Right? How about that her or how about his or her reputation in the world? Okay? This is a multinational company, right? With our multinational client, they will go deep dive about me 2 years before, and then that, okay, Monica, let's meet again. They need me to reach out for me. They need to trace about me in 2 years after they engage with me, right? That's when you engage with the superpower country, right? Okay, next question. Oh, if it's finished, okay. People hungry. Thank you so much, and keep contact. Please let us discuss with a good communication also. As a new friends, a new college, send me message. Also that WhatsApp. Let me know about your focus in the taxation, especially in the multinational company. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all the way tomorrow.